Ay, qué difícil es Bach. O sea, al principio, sin calentar ni nada. Well, I was born in Mexico City, and my first contact with music was until the junior high school when I was 11 years old. From the moment I had the recorder school instrument, I noticed that I was tremendous talent for that. You know, I could play by ear all the pieces, you know, and I was very talented for this flute. And then 1 week later, the music class teacher made us hear a girl who played the piano very beautifully. Yeah. I was never exposed to classical music, so from the beginning of the sonata, my life transformed 100%. It was like a ray of light ray or something, I don't know what was it. It kind of like fire going into my ears, to my brain, and I decided I wanted from that moment to become a musician. I went home very enthusiastic and I told my mother, Mom, I want to become a musician. Please buy me a piano, you know. But yeah, she loved the same way. That was really very shocking for them. Yeah. Very, very shocking for them. Well, at that time, also I discovered I was gay. So you know, it was.
Did you land both of those at the same time?
No. A little late about the gay thing, you know. But from the time I heard Mozart, I couldn't hear any other thing than classical music, and I became really a fanatic of classical music. And I was very young, really very young, and I knew precisely what I wanted. I wanted to become a musician. I went to the conservatory and they told me, you have to study a serious instrument because we don't teach here Latin American folk instruments. I thought I think they thought the recorder was like a quena, you know, like a Peruvian instrument from the Andes. Saying, no, it's an European instrument. No, but we don't give this instrument, we don't teach this instrument here. You have to study a serious instrument. So I started to study violin because I had some money. Saved money, and I could buy a Chinese, very cheap Chinese violin.
One that looked like a violin.
So I bought that violin and I started, you know. But I hadn't never played the violin before in my life, and I was 13 years old.
And there was no YouTube.
There was no YouTube. Really, there was nothing. not even cell phones, you know. And then I went to my violin teacher, it was an Italian who told me, haven't you played violin before? No. Why are you starting here with me? Because I am here and I have a violin. Please,
and at age 13?
This is happening. Yeah, you are 13, you are too old for starting, you know. It was kind of really harsh. That's hard. He was very harsh with me. He treated me as the worst garbage in the universe. Anyway, my violin teacher was the conductor of the chamber orchestra of the conservatory. I went to a rehearsal and I told Maestro Bredo, can you let me please play as soloist of the orchestra? He told me, you are crazy, Franco. How can you dare? How can you dare to...
What did you do?
What, are you crazy? You are starting with the violin and these people are playing years and years more than you. No, it's not with the violin. I took a recorder from my pocket and I started to play a Vivaldi concerto, and he was very, very, really very, very astonished. So he told me, of course, why didn't you tell me to play the recorder like that? Because you never grasped me.
You said to find a serious instrument.
And then anyway, I played a solo in my first concert. I was in the Fine Arts Palace 40 years ago. I celebrate last year 40 years of that concert. Every 5 years I celebrate in the same Fine Arts Palace. He told me, he proved me to go with the recorder. You stop with the violin, you don't have a future with violin. Study the recorder seriously. Then I had to go somewhere else because in Mexico there was no career of recorder. I started the recorder career when I was 16 years old. the director of the conservatory asked me to make study programs for the career. So I started to give lessons. So I was the youngest conservatory teacher ever. I was 16 years old.
At 13, you're playing in the orchestra solo, and then at 16, you're starting this career for others. That's wonderful.
And I have, I wanted to go out Mexico, and my target was Holland, because Holland was the best school in the world at that time for recorders. So my goal was saving money and go to the Netherlands. So I started, when I was teaching at the conservatory, I had lots of studies at the conservatory, students. I had a lot of students at the conservatory and at the High School of Music, also from the Fine Arts Department of Mexico. So I was teacher in the two schools, and then at the same time, I made a contest from Encyclopedia Britannica. You see the encyclopedia there. I bought the Encyclopedia Britannica in order to make this contest. This contest was an unique prize of $6,000. You can imagine in 1980 was a lot of money.
That is juicy prize.
So I won it. I won it, and they gave me the prize. And with the prize of Encyclopedia Britannica and the money I had saved, I went to Holland. It was kind of a romantic story, because
at age so young.
I was very young, but I sent a tape recording, a tape, remember? Historical.
What are those things?
I sent a tape to the Amsterdam Conservatory, and it's like to put in your letter in a bottle and to put it in the sea, And let's see what happens. I was accepted.
No way.
Yeah, in Amsterdam. So with the best teacher, Walter van Houwen. So I started to learn Dutch at that time. I wanted to learn Dutch, because I never spoke English like now. I want to live in Holland. I want to be a student in Holland, but I want to learn the language, to live in the country. So I really was very, very focused on learning Dutch, and then I went to Holland with that money, And then it was very nice what Holland teach me, not only to be in the best school of the world, but also to know the meaning of a true democracy.
But I want to go back to that moment when you were sharing with your parents, right, about falling in love with music, right? And you tell that story with a lot of compassion and understanding for your parents, right? You really put yourself in their shoes, right? Understanding where they came from, their history, and why they reacted to your love for music the way they did. But at that moment, at age 11, did you have that same compassion? Like, what was your immediate reaction to your parents' rejection for your passion and love?
That was very difficult, because in the way you ask, when you have this stamina for life, and I had really that stamina, that motor for going on, what I want, because I was really very stubborn. I was absolutely sure and secure of myself that I wanted that for my life. And I was so passionate. I was very passionate. So the passion and the will was my only argument for fighting, not against them, but to educate them. If you, I lived in their house. I was not still. I was not an adult. I was an adolescent. I was depending economically from them. So let's make a compromise. Even after the concert I gave in the conservatory, they went to Bellas Artes. They went to Fine Arts Palace, and they heard me, and I had a big success. And they told me the next day, we know you are at the conservatory. We know you love music. We know you played beautifully. We're very proud of you. But please first study a career, a serious career, serious profession, and then you go on with music. And I told them at that time, I was 14 years old already. I told them, look, let's make a compromise. If I become 22 or 23 or 30 years old, and I am a non-profitable musician, I'm a kind of failure musician, that doesn't earn enough money for live, and it's depending on you, you know. At that time, I can start to study medicine or you know, business or whatever you want. But at this time, I'm 40 years old. Please let me make profit of all my youth for studying this thing, you know. And this is what I tell the parents.
Yeah.
You have to know that things like music, dance, classic dance, gymnastics, you know, many sports need of youth to be really serious professionals. So, and I told them, if I'm 30 years old and I'm not a successful musician, I study whatever you want.
Being different, it's what really makes us authentic, right? And oftentimes society puts us in a box, and when you are just expressing the greatness that's within you, oftentimes you get bullied, right? And in today's world, bullying is a huge issue. It kills more dreams than parents today, right? What would you say to that kid that's watching you, that understands their passion, their talent, but yet the bullying is really rough?
Well, the most important thing to know for all the children, of all the teenagers, is to be sure that you have passion and you have talent, and defend that as much as you want. And nobody has the right to tell you anything. If you know that you are really talented and gifted and you are passionate and you love that thing you want to do, feel that you have the privilege to know that, because 90% of more of the people in your around you don't have that. You know, many people don't know who they are, and the fact that you know that you are talented for something, that you are passionate for something, that you are gay or you are a trans or you are an hetero or you love to paint your hair of pink, you know, and you are emo or you love anything, you know. In this moment that you know that, you may feel proud of it, and you have to be proud of who you are.
It's a little off still, you think?
What?
Still feels a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah. Once more?
It's up to you.
Yeah,
Whatever.
please.
Okay.
It was out of tune and no, one more.
Okay.